Tomato scrambled eggs may seem simple, but many people end up with dry eggs, tomatoes that never release their sauce, and a dish that lacks the rich flavor you get at restaurants. The truth is, the secret lies in a few small steps that most people often overlook. In today's video, I'll share the proper method to make the eggs soft and fluffy, help the tomatoes release a naturally rich red sauce, and create a lightly thickened sauce that coats every piece of egg beautifully. The result is a perfectly balanced sweet and tangy dish, rich in flavor and incredibly satisfying with rice. One bite, and you'll remember the taste for a long time. Prepare a few fresh tomatoes. Take each tomato and lightly score across on the surface with a knife. You only need to cut through the thin outer skin. There's no need to cut deeply. Then place them into a large bowl and pour in freshly boiled hot water. Let them soak for about 1 minute. When exposed to high heat, the tomato skins will shrink and naturally separate from the flesh inside. It's nice to know that we see each other all over the world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can subscribe by clicking the subscribe button. It's great to see your support. At this point, simply pull gently with your hands, and the skin will peel off smoothly in one piece. You'll notice that the tomato flesh inside becomes noticeably softer, making it much easier to release juice and quickly form a sauce when cooked. After peeling, cut the tomatoes in half and remove the hard white core in the center. This part is quite fibrous, takes a long time to soften, and adds very little flavor when stir-fried, so removing it will give the dish a smoother taste overall. Next, cut the tomatoes into slightly large wedge-shaped pieces. This is also a very important tip. If the pieces are cut too small, the tomatoes will quickly break down into a mushy paste. But cutting them into medium-sized wedges allows the tomatoes to both release plenty of rich sauce and still keep their soft, juicy texture when eaten. That way, the dish has both flavorful sauce and satisfying pieces of tomato, creating more layers of texture and making it much more delicious. Once finished cutting, place the tomatoes onto a plate and set aside. Next, prepare a few green onions. Separate the white stems from the green tops. Don't cut them all together, because these two parts play completely different roles when cooking. The white stems have a stronger aroma and can handle heat better, so they are used to sauté in oil and create the base fragrance for the dish. Cut the white stems into small pieces. Place them separately on a plate. The green tops are softer and more delicate in flavor, so they are usually added at the end to keep their fresh color and natural aroma. Finely chop the green onion tops. Place them separately in a bowl. Next, prepare a few cloves of garlic. Use the side of a knife to crush them first. This is a trick that many chefs always use. When the garlic is crushed, its cell structure breaks down, allowing the oils and aroma to release much more strongly compared to simply slicing it directly. After that, finely mince the garlic. When sautéed, the combination of white scallion parts and garlic creates an incredibly fragrant aroma, the true soul of the dish, making the tomato scrambled eggs instantly smell irresistible the moment they hit the pan. Add the minced garlic together with the white onion stems. Next, prepare a bowl of cornstarch slurry to slightly thicken the dish. Add 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch to a bowl. Pour in 100 milliliters of water. Then stir thoroughly until the starch is completely dissolved. When added to the pan, it helps the sauce gradually become lightly glossy and more flavorful, making the eggs softer and silkier with a beautiful restaurant-style shine. If you prefer extra sauce for mixing with rice, you can increase the amount of water and cornstarch. Now prepare 5 fresh eggs. Crack them into a bowl. Add 5 milliliters of white vinegar. Just a small amount is enough. This small step is actually very important. Vinegar not only helps reduce the fishy smell of the eggs, but also makes them more fragrant and results in softer, fluffier eggs after cooking. In addition, the cooked eggs will have a brighter, more beautiful yellow color. Then use chopsticks or a whisk to beat the eggs thoroughly. Keep whisking until tiny bubbles appear on the surface. This shows that air has been incorporated into the eggs, helping them expand more when cooked, becoming softer, smoother, and preventing them from clumping or turning dry and rubbery. This is also the secret that makes restaurant-style scrambled eggs so soft, fluffy, and incredibly appetizing. Next, start cooking the eggs. Add a suitable amount of cooking oil into the pan. Wait until the oil is hot, then swirl it around to coat the pan evenly. This step is very important because the hot oil creates a natural non-stick layer, preventing the eggs from sticking to the bottom or breaking apart when added. Then, pour in the beaten eggs. At this point, remember to keep the heat at medium-low. Do not use high heat. Too much heat will cause the eggs to set too quickly, making the outside dry, while the inside is still not soft and fluffy. When you see the eggs start to puff up, gently push from the edges toward the center using a spatula, stirring slowly and evenly to form large, soft, tender pieces. This is the secret that gives tomato scrambled eggs their soft, fluffy, restaurant-style texture instead of turning into small, dry crumbles. Once the eggs are just set and have barely changed color, immediately transfer them to a bowl. Do not wait until they are fully cooked. The eggs will continue to cook from residual heat. If overcooked, the proteins will tighten, making the eggs tough, dry, and losing their natural softness and richness. Keep a little oil in the pan and reheat it. Then add the white parts of the scallions and the minced garlic. Sauté slowly over low heat until fragrant. Within seconds, the aroma of garlic and scallions will rise clearly. This is the flavor base that makes the dish much more appealing. Next, add all the prepared tomatoes into the pan. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and quickly stir well over high heat. This is a very important tip. Salt helps break down the tomato structure faster, allowing them to soften quickly and release a rich, natural red sauce. You will see the tomatoes start to soften, and the vibrant red juice slowly flows down to the bottom of the pan. The soul of the dish begins to appear. Once the tomatoes have softened and released a noticeable amount of juice, add 1/4 teaspoon of sugar. Sugar does not make the dish sweet, but helps balance the acidity of the tomatoes and makes the flavor smoother, more rounded, and harmonious. Then pour in 100 milliliters of hot water. Hot water helps the tomatoes continue to soften and release more natural juice, creating a richer sauce base. If you add cold water, the temperature will drop suddenly, making it harder for the tomatoes to release their sauce and reducing the thickness of the final dish. Let the sauce come to a gentle simmer. Next, return the cooked eggs back into the pan. Gently simmer over low heat for about 1 to 2 minutes. This is the golden time for the eggs to absorb the sauce while staying soft and fluffy. This step determines the final taste of the dish. When the eggs have fully absorbed the sweet and tangy sauce, the dish becomes soft, fragrant, and extremely appetizing with rice. Finally, pour in the prepared cornstarch slurry. Stir well over high heat. Once it comes back to a boil, sprinkle in the green parts of the scallions to enhance aroma and color. Stir quickly a few times until the sauce becomes lightly thickened and evenly coats every piece of egg and tomato. Then it is done. The finished dish has a beautiful red and golden color, instantly giving a warm and comforting feeling. The eggs are soft, fluffy, and lightly bouncy, wrapped in a naturally rich red tomato sauce that is glossy and fragrant. When eaten, the first taste is a perfectly balanced sweet and tangy flavor from the ripe tomatoes, gentle and not sharp. Then comes the soft richness of the eggs, fluffy yet moist, fully soaked in the sauce. Where are you watching from? Please leave a comment to let me know. The most special part is the sauce itself. Not watery, not overpowering, but just thick enough to coat every grain of rice. Each spoonful of rice carries a perfect mix of sour, sweet, rich, and fragrant flavors, creating a deeply satisfying bite. This dish is simple, yet incredibly addictive. The more you eat, the lighter and more comforting it feels. A humble plate of food, but one that turns an ordinary meal into something warm, complete, and truly home-cooked. The video ends here. If you have any comments, please leave a comment below. If you find the video interesting, please give me a like. Don't forget to share it with your relatives and friends. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. Goodbye. See you in the next video.